So we're studying LeChatelier's principle, and this is a lecture that you should get in school class tomorrow. And if you want to go back over it, I've created this video for you to watch. Also, there's a nice little video by Dr. Dave on YouTube in case I don't actually impart enough information for you, because he does go in deeper. So we know that an equilibrium or a reversible reaction occurs in such a way that the forward reaction with the reactants and is equal to the reverse reaction of the products, and we end up with something called equilibrium. LeChatelier suggested that if a stress happens, which is a change in concentration, the system follows a set of rules that allow you to predict which way there'll be an increase in concentration and which way there'll be a decrease in concentration after you make the stress, the change, or the stress. And it's all based on this fact that the concentration is related to the rate of reaction. So if I increase the concentration, I'll get a faster rate of reaction. If I decrease the concentration, I get a slower reaction. But we're basically going to use rules. Now, one of the things you have to realize is that this is a system. Both the blue and the green balls are all part of the same system, and they are changing constantly from one to the other, at such a rate that the change is imperceptible over the time that you're observing it. If you increase the reactants, then you basically tilt the balance in favor of the reactants. And what we need to do is we need to adjust that and make the pieces go back to make the pieces move in such a way that we're back into balance. So what will happen is we'll need the forward reaction to push reactants out of the reactant side and into the product side. When that happens, we go back to balance. Now, what we saw was the two parts are equal on both sides. That does not have to happen. It's just emphasizing that the system has to return to balance. In fact, the number of reactants and products will be very different often. It doesn't have to be the number of particles that are the same. What has to be the same for equilibrium to occur is that the rates are the same or equal to each other. What about a decrease in reactants? Well, if we decrease the number of particles, then we need to rebalance that. To rebalance that, I need to move particles from the right, which is the products, onto the left, and we say that's a shift to the reactants or a shift to the left. That occurs in order to bring things back to balance, which is, and this is all LeChatelier's principle. If we have a change on one side, then we need to undertake a change in order to bring it back into equilibrium. And that's what's happening here, or what we're presenting. The same thing will happen with heat energy. You do need to remember exothermic is releasing energy. So essentially, heat can be treated as a product. And endothermic is absorbing heat, and we can treat heat as a reactant. And we use it in exactly the same way. What we want to do is if we increase heat, we're going to tip the balance towards heat, and then we'll move back towards where we want to go. If we increase heat, we're going to shift it away from the side it's on. So if you have exothermic, heat will be a product. If we have endothermic, it'll act like a reactant. So more heat shifts to the left towards reactants, and more heat for endothermic shifts right towards products. And decreasing heat is always backwards. So decreasing the concentration or decreasing heat is exactly the opposite of increasing. And I actually often have to think of increasing and then go, oh yeah, and decreasing is the reverse. And that's it. The idea is, let's go all the way back, is that we recognize that we have this thing called stress, that if we put stress on the system, now it's going to respond to that stress. Oh no, I'm stressed. The response to the stress is bring it back into equilibrium, which is to shift to the right or towards products, and now it's all balanced. So that's the LeChatelier's principle, and that's what we're going to work on the worksheet. So let's go look at some examples on the worksheet. Thank you.